Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What exactly is it that we do, sir?
Give the people what they want.
We have the college football playoff national championship game tonight. We had 6 wild card games all weekend long, and we start where it ended last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers straight up giving the Browns a touchdown on their first snap from scrimmage, and it didn't get better from there. Jalen, what happened to the Steelers yesterday?
I'm really enthusiastic about playoff football, and how about your all-pro center snapping it over your 6'5" future Hall of Fame quarterback's head on the first snap of the game. And by the way, he and Connor trying to pick up the ball. Like, one of them couldn't fall on it, Jacoby? Like, they was, you know how bad my knees are. That's how they look. Look at both of these dudes. They can't get the ball. It's the first play of the game.
Ben didn't even hit the ground. Come on, Ben.
And then all of a sudden, Big Ben come out the next possession. He throw an interception. Juice Landry gets open for Cleveland. He scores a TD. And before you know it, it is 28-0 in the first quarter.
Wild.
Talk about the Cleveland Browns shocking the Pittsburgh Steelers right out of the gate.
Even with a 28-point lead, you know and I know, we were both watching that game being like, if anyone could blow this lead, it's the Browns. If anyone could blow this lead, it's the Browns. But it was Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb that just powered this offense over and over and over. It seemed like every time they touched the ball, they got 6 yards. And this run into the end zone, it was Chubb and Hunt all day. Can the Browns ride these two into another playoff victory?
Yes, they can, as a dynamic duo. And these highlights, I'm watching y'all, Cleveland. That's a Jedi mind trick. Because you think of Hunt, but he was the power runner yesterday. You think of Chubb, he was the one doing damage in the receiving game. They flipped it yesterday. And so now all of a sudden, they're going to have defenses, Jacoby, really not understanding how to slow these gentlemen down like teams have struggled to do the entire season.
And, of course, we have to salute Baker Mayfield, who did his thing yesterday. Everyone was doubting the Browns. Everyone doubted the Browns after they barely kind of sort of beat the JV Steelers last week. They went right up against their big brother, as they're called, and beat them yesterday. Big salute to the Cleveland Browns. But that was just one of the 6 games that we have to get to. The marquee game on ESPN and ABC was the Ravens against the Titans. And what happened in that one, Mr. Rose?
Don't sleep on the fact Lamar did hit a couple of passes outside of the numbers, like I told you he was going to need to do to Hollywood Brown. And when that happens, all of a sudden it opens Lamar up to be electric in the run game. How about getting more yards on the ground than Derrick Henry? And really that being the difference maker. Going into this game, we know the stat. The Ravens were the only squad that basically hadn't come back from 10 points to win a football game the last few years. They started out 10-0, Jacoby. They started out 10-0, and they did a really good job. And of course, their defense was physical. Shout to Humphrey, he was great. Peter, he was great getting an interception. But again, this was about Lamar getting his first playoff win.
It was about Lamar, but it was also about Derrick Henry. That man that had over 2,000 yards in the regular season. Look at his numbers from yesterday. It seemed like every time they handed him the ball, there was just a group of people around him. I mean, look at this. 40 yards, his season low. 28 yards after contact. They really bottled up Derrick Henry, which shut down this entire Titans offense. The Ravens defense is something to be reckoned with. And Jalen, did you expect them to do this to Derrick Henry?
Not this. Not a season low in rush yards. Not season low in points for the Titans. Not a season low in total yards. Ryan Tannehill, they got Brown out there on the outside. He's a physical specimen too, Jacoby. They should have got him the football and got him more opportunities. But again, this was about the Ravens staying true to their identity. being physical at the point of attack, and not allowing Derrick Henry to get a full head of steam. Because you know, once he get like 3-4 steps into it, he's stiff arming and everything.
Push you in the face.
Linebackers and,
right
and defensive backs, no question about it. So they did a really good job of playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
There was something that happened during this game that leads us into one of our signature segments. It is time for Soft Move or Boss Move. There's been a lot of discussion about dancing on logos during this football season. And after Marcus Peters got his game-sealing interception, the Tennessee Titans logo was besmirched. It was disrespected. Look at them stomping on it, dancing on it. Jalen, disrespecting your foe's logo in the middle of the field at the end of the game, soft move or boss move?
Get well soon to the legend, the OG Dr. Dre, because I'm playing the song in my head. I've been there. I done that. At Michigan State, we won a game. And you guys think Randy Moss did the moon when he returned to play against the Packers. I sat on the S, okay? And by the way, I didn't think about it. I was going to have to get to the locker room. Of course, I got pelted with coins, and they threw beverages on me as I deserved it. This is the bulletin board material that they needed. The disrespect, the shade. Remember, we talked about it on this show. And last time, their head coach was the only person out there. The only person out there. And now all of a sudden you play the game. And they take that as motivation. We talked about that with the Steelers, even when they was 11-0. I told you, I did not like them getting away from their identity and physicality and running the ball and dancing on people's logos. And the Ravens had a chance to get revenge, and they did it yesterday.
It's always a boss move. If you don't want them to dance on your logo, then don't throw the interception. It is as simple as that. And Jalen Anthony Rose, you know I'm a Die Easy fan, but you know I've been on the Bills Mafia. You know I'm with the Bills Mafia. I swear I was there. I swear I was there at Orchard Park yesterday as the Buffalo Bills got their first playoff win in a quarter century. There it is. The Colts came to town and went down. Jalen, is there anything that you saw on Saturday that makes you think that this Bills team cannot make a deep run in the playoffs?
Well, you created stretch mark 4, which we can now use for stretch mark 5, and you also created Die Easy. So you're going to be the first Die Easy fan to make it to a Super Bowl potentially. How about that? For people like me that have rooted for their teams for decades on decades and decades and get sheer misery, you get a chance to jump on a bandwagon, and Josh Allen is their quarterback, and he's a terrific dual threat. And then they pick up Stephon Diggs in the offseason, and he breaks all kind of records. But the only thing I'm going to tell you is,
what's that?
They lost Moss. And as the season continued to progress out of the backfield, he was a factor getting carries and catches out of the backfield from Singletary. He's going to be missed in the next game, Jacoby.
The Ravens are a difficult opponent for the Bills to go up against, but guess what? They're going to beat the Ravens, and then they're going to beat the Chiefs, and then they're going to beat the Packers, and the Bills Mafia will reign supreme over the entire NFL. Remember where you heard it first. Bills Mafia for life, or until they lose, and then I'll jump on another bandwagon. But Jalen, that one wasn't an upset, but there was a huge upset in the Pacific Northwest, and that was when the L.A. Rams, without a quarterback, went into Seattle and really beat the Seahawks. Jalen, what happened in Seattle?
I'm so glad that Meek Millie and Drake, I get a chance to see them in the Bahamas at the crap table, because I remember there was a time when Drake said that he was upset. And that's how I felt about this. So you mean to tell me 2 quarterbacks, one that we hadn't heard of, another one that just came back from thumb surgery 16 days ago, is going to beat Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson?
In Seattle?
Like in Seattle? Like, I can't front. For Russ, Aaron Donald being right in front of him has been an issue his entire career. By the way, that's the person Donald has sacked the most. And then Ramsey on the outside. Is he still following Metcalf? Is he still following him?
He's still following him. Metcalf is mad. Metcalf woke up this morning and Jalen Ramsey's at the foot of his bed.
He got
like,
mad
leave
at
me alone.
Russ.
Game's over,
he got him mad at Russ during the game. Russ like, don't get mad at me, dog. Don't get mad at me, dog.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? And so what I think they're going to do, Jacoby, you ready for this? I actually think they need to be a little more creative offensively. Like, you got the strength of Metcalf. You got the speed of Lockett, and you got the championship experience of Russell Wilson under center. And you got Carson in the backfield. They look kind of conservative to me. I can't front, dog. So I'm going to be paying attention if they start to make some changes as it relates to their offensive coordinating staff. Stay tuned.
Really good point from you, Jalen Rose. I'm not used to you having these really innovative, original, insightful points when it comes to these football games, man. I didn't know that I was going to be co-hosting the show with Elmer Fudd today. It is time for News That Matters. Jalen, two co-conspirators, two criminals were in the middle of a robbery. And do you know what they did in the UK? They called the police on themselves. By accident, they pocket dialed the police while they were in the middle of a burglary. Jalen, what do you have to say to these young men?
Tanner, Red, somebody, this is clearly a failed test.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, this weekend featured 6 NFL playoff games, and it also featured quarterbacks as old as we are. Tom Brady out here, 43 years old. 43 years old, getting it done against the Washington football team. What did you see from Tampa Bay?
Well, we knew that Washington just wouldn't have the weapons to get it done. And then now all of a sudden, like I told you, don't sneak. Leonard Fournette ran the football well and got a touchdown. As much as we're going to show time airing it out to all of those weapons, I'm telling you, balance is going to be the key for the Buccaneers.
Absolutely, and we have to salute a gentleman by the name of Taylor Heinicke. I had no idea who Taylor Heinicke was 3 weeks ago, but this dude was out here throwing the ball, running the ball, diving to the pylon, getting touchdowns. Big shout to Taylor Heinicke. Will we see him again next year in the NFL?
He need to be trying to get a Heineken endorsement. They sound pretty similar. And he got himself a check. And even if he's not going to be considered being somebody's starter, Jacoby, just that right there allows this. That's Chase Young knowing his name. Chase Young knows his name.
That's when Chase Young learned his name. That's why Chase Young pointed to the back of it. He was like, "Oh, that's his name." Oh, okay.
Hey, dog. Let me tell you something. He about to be a 15-year backup just because of that right there.
I mean, honestly, would you rather have Taylor Heinicke or Cam Newton as your backup quarterback next year if you were an NFL franchise?
I got a better one for you. Would you rather have Taylor Heinicke or Big Ben?
Big Ben. Big Ben is closer to being with us than he is being with a football team next year. Let's be honest with you. After what we saw, and there's another old quarterback in the league who might be with us next year in the media, and that is Drew Brees, who took his Saints up against the Bears and pretty much made light work of the Bears. What do you think of Drew Brees' performance?
You know, I'm not mad at Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. I'm hearing some numbers being thrown around. People can't wait to get him some money. I appreciate that. my goodness. But like I said all year, again, Michael Thomas was back, Jacoby. If they're going to make it to the Super Bowl and win it, that's got to be the elite record-breaking connection. And that's great to see Cook. And you know how much I love Kamara and all of those weapons. But Breeze to Thomas, that's going to be the key. Your guy Taysom Hill is going to be a big factor next weekend.
He's my guy now? He's my guy now? Just any athletic white guy is my guy all of a sudden? Okay. You're not wrong, though.
Okay.
Well, Jalen, I have never, ever related to Kevin Durant before, but I do now because sometimes you go missing, Jalen, and people ask me where you're at. Sometimes you go missing, and people ask me where you're at. And now that is happening to KD about Kyrie. Let's listen to Top 5 Dead or Alive, Kevin Durant.
I won't speak on Kyrie. I'll let him do that for himself. So I'm sure you guys will see him soon whenever he comes back, and we support him 100% and pray for the best.
Where's Kyrie? Like, where you at, dog? Where are you?
It seemed like his professional energy changed after we saw what happened at Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., because that was the day that ultimately he ended up not playing that night for personal reasons. Fortunately for him, the Karis LeVert saved them that day. And even more fortunate that Kevin Durant came back against his former team, got a double-double, and played, like you said, top 3, dead or alive, by the way. And so now he has to go to the press conference, and now it's like watching the movie Belly. That's your man. That's your man. Like KD, we were talking about you guys coming here and winning a championship. When we can't get him on the phone, we're going to call you, and rightfully so, because that's your man.
Your man. No one knows where Kyrie Irving is. No one knows why Kyrie Irving isn't showing up to work, and no one has a clue. And KD will not even entertain the question, says, I will let Kyrie speak for Kyrie. Eventually, at some point, some way, somehow, we will find out what is going on with Kyrie Irving. But until then, it remains a mystery. Remains a mystery. Well, he's giving some checks up, missing these games. Jalen, do you remember before the draft and last season when we would celebrate the gentleman by the name of LaMelo Ball, and we would talk about how he is going to be a great rookie in the league and how every GM that didn't draft him is going to be upset about not drafting him? And over the weekend, he almost had a triple-double, but he was an assist shy, I believe. Oh, wait. And then he actually had a triple-double, youngest to ever do it. When will the rest of the country and the world catch up to us in celebrating the gentleman by the name of LaMelo Ball?
All I know is this. I've seen him do maybe 3 national multimedia outlet interviews. One was in high school when he was playing in Ohio. He and LeVar were gracious enough to join us. And I even got adopted into the family, Jacoby. Did a couple of more, including the draft. Now, going into the draft, I want you to repeat into the microphone what you told every general manager and fan base should happen if they had the top pick in this year's draft.
Don't be the general manager that passes up on LaMelo Ball. Don't be that person. And there are 2 of those people walking this planet right now that did not draft LaMelo Ball when he was available. And now there is a 6'8" point guard dishing out dimes, getting triple-doubles in the National Basketball Association.
How about this, dog? I'm trying to tell you, like, the ball has kinetic energy. It's infectious. When you have a guy that's going to pass you open, everybody runs faster. Everybody feels better about their life. I played NBA basketball for 13 years. I had 1 triple-double. I had 1 triple-double. This dude got the earliest triple-double in the history of the league.
You had 1 triple-double?
Exactly. Now you see why I drove 2.5 hours to Boston to go interview him.
Time out. You got paid for 13 years, but you only played for 12. I'm not counting that last year in Phoenix. I'm not counting that one. When we come back, we will preview the national championship game that is happening tonight.
Good job, Coach.
ABC and ESPN.
Good job, JJ.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, after watching football for 48 straight hours, we have more football in front of us in tonight's national championship game between Alabama and your Ohio State Buckeyes. Look at you. You know you will be rooting for the Buckeyes tonight in the Big Ten.
Whoa.
You know. Look at you. Look at all of you Michiganders. Going for the Buckeyes. The Midwest stays together, right?
Whoa, this is just unprofessional and irresponsible journalism. Is that Heisman Trophy winning Desmond Howard? Is that Heisman Trophy winning legend Charles Woodson, my brothers? We would never root for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Never.
Yeah, you would.
They own me, but they don't own Nick Saban.
I don't think Wood or Desmond's going to come back on our show after seeing that Photoshop. What a game tonight. And Jalen, one thing that we love on this show is power couples. Both you and I are lucky enough to be a part of a power couple, and we have a brand new Instagram official power couple, Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. Jalen, your thoughts on this new union
Shout to the
in
OG
the culture?
Steve Harvey. Shout to Michael B. Jordan. And it was great over the last couple of days to see Lori Harvey knighted by Black Twitter. All hail to the queen. All hail to the queen.
The queen. That is Lori Harvey. National championship game tonight. Make sure you listen to our podcast with us, always exclusive content. We'll be back tomorrow, ESPN at 2.